Hi guys, Tom Morrison here, and do you have inflexible ankles? Does your squat look like this? Have you tried stretching, rolling, banded distractions, and still not made any progress? Today we're going to show you 2 simple exercises to increase the flexibility of your ankles and make sure that you stay around for the end of the video where we're going to show you how to make your flexibility actually stick. Firstly, you're making 3 mistakes. Number 1, you're not tracking your progress. Number 2, you're being far too nice about it. And number 3, you're not integrating that range of motion immediately. To address the first point, what we're going to do is measure how much dorsiflexion you have. So we have a little ruler here and we have a pen. And what Jenny's going to do first of all is just have her foot at the wall and just see without trying to open up her hips or anything. Just keep the hips square on. She goes forwards and sees, can she touch her knee to the wall? If that's all good and the heel's down, she moves it back a little bit. Sees how it is. So now we're at about 2 inches. Still good to go. Let's go for 3 inches. Still good. 4 inches. Oh, we're getting tight. The heel's starting to want to lift up. Have we got 5? And we're cheating with the hip a little bit. So we're probably going to give this about a 4.5, Jenny. A 4.5. Oh, big thing about this is this can be called the 5-inch wall test. Not everybody can get 5 inches, so don't freak out. This is just so you know where you're at. So if we flip around, Jenny goes to the other side. So she knows that she can hit 4.5 inches on her left side, and on the right side, let's see where we're going. So she's just going for the 3 now. She still gets a touch easy enough. Is the heel staying down? Now we're at 4. Then we're going to try that 5 again. Oh, and we've got our touch. Can we get a 5.5? Can we get a 5.5? Just about a 5.5. So Jenny actually had an operation on her left ankle years ago, and the range is just reduced ever so slightly in it. That little bit of difference, absolutely fine, because we're talking like your end range, and you're never really going to need that much, okay? So it's totally normal to see someone around the 3 to 5 inch mark, whereas if you're trying to have your foot against the wall and the knee won't even touch at all, then you know you've a lot of work to do. But the main thing that we're using this test for is just to see, do we make a difference when we do the other stuff? Now let's start stretching. The first stretch is something you may have seen before, but we're going to add a little bit of force to it and really take it to the next level. By the way, if you've had a recent ankle injury or you frequently injure your ankles, start off with all over foot strength, or follow along on YouTube is a better place to start before starting to implement these stretches. We're going to go through the active wall stretch, and why it's active is we're actually going to be pressing into the wall. So Jenny is going to pick an ankle she's going to work on first. She's going with the right, and what she's actually doing here is actively pressing into the wall as if she had a prowler that she was pushing that's ridiculously heavy. So she's actually getting a massive stretch in the calf here, all the way down to the heel, and then from there, as she's pushing in, she can start to bend the knee slightly and then straighten out the leg, trying to work the heel down. If she's able to get the heel down, she can put her foot back a tiny bit as well. So if she just adjusts herself, puts the foot back even more, and tries to make that stretch more intense. You want to be doing this thinking, whew, that's quite tight, that. You don't just want to be doing the position and just hanging out there for the sake of it. It's one of the worst ones is just having your foot against the wall and just hanging out there, not really caring about what you're doing. She's pushing the whole time. She's really trying to get as much weight through this as much as she can. Then from there, what she's going to do, remember ankles can move in all different ways. Your knee can go in and out. She's going to open up at the hips, and then she's going to bring her knee across herself the other way as well, trying to get that stretch to hit different angles of the calf. Hang around here for 60 seconds on one leg and do it again by feel. If it doesn't feel like you're getting much of a stretch, readjust your position and really start to push back in, okay? And then you'll swap sides and do the other side. So again, try and get wherever you can that you can push the heel down, then move the foot, try and get the heel down again, bend the knee slightly, straighten, bend, straighten, and then work on using the hip to bring it across the body. And then out, okay? So you're trying to hit every little bit of the calf that you can. Keep your breathing nice and relaxed, and just remember to keep pressing into the wall. And if you feel like you need to come up and take a break for a second and do some ankle rotations, you can do that. But ideally, you want to have 60 seconds on each side until you feel like you've really made a change, until you feel like you've got your foot back further and that you're still able to start getting that heel back down again. Now after stretching, we're going to add some stability in. So we're going to do some calf raises with a little bit of a rock back as well. So Jenny's going pigeon-toed first of all. She's going to raise up as high as she can with control and then comes back down and then she lifts up as much as you can. You can use your hands here to help you balance as well. She's going to do 5 reps like that, nice and slow, really lower down as slow as she can. And then after she does them with the pigeon toe, she then goes just with the feet straight. And we're doing 5 of each here. And again, try and pause at the top, get as much range as you can, and really pull the toes up at that back portion as well. If you start falling all over the place, don't worry about it. You can grab something to hang on to. So after you've done your 5 straight variations, you then go for the Charlie Chaplin stance, and you go outwards as well. So this is going to help to keep stability in the ankles as well. So it's really important when you aggressively stretch something that you do something to work all the muscles and all the stability as well. Awesome. So this is a superset. So you're going to do the stretches, then you're going to do this straight afterwards, then retest your range of motion with your wall test, see if you've made any improvement. Depending on how much improvement you see, you can then do another round. And if you've really stiff ankles, you could go for 3 rounds. But if you're all good, let's put some strength and use the range as well. Come on, Jenny. Now we're going to make it stick with goblet split squats. So what Jenny's going to do is have a weight in the goblet position, nice and light. We're not going cray here. We're actually still stretching. So what Jenny's going to do is try and get her knee as far over her toe as she can. You'll usually have to readjust the back leg because I've never set up for these and had it in the right place ever. So you might need to have a wee bit of a shimmy to find the right place. So you can drop the back knee, see how far you can get the knee over the toe. Now we're going to go down nice and slow, keeping the breathing nice and relaxed. And we're going to pause in the bottom, Jenny, aren't we? We're going to pause. We're going to hold this for about 5 seconds. Or if you're Jenny, it's a 3-second, 5-second. So then we come back up nice and slow. Again, the goal here is to keep the heel down the whole time. She's thinking about having a tripod foot. So you think about 3 points of contact, outside, inside, and the heel, all grabbing the ground as much as they can. You go nice and slow. So this is how you integrate the range. You can do all the stretching as you want, but it's not going to carry over to your squat, and it's not going to carry over to usable mobility if you don't actually strengthen it. So this exercise sucks. It's so hard, and it just feels like it's just annoyingly, it takes annoyingly long to do. So again, knee comes out in front as far as you can get. Pause in the bottom for around 5 seconds. And then back up nice and slowly, and then swap sides. So about 5 to 10 reps each side. Again, you're working with a brand new range here probably, especially if your ankles have been really stiff. You're going to have no strength in your hips in this bottom position, so it might take you a while to get used to as well. But this is a great way to build everything up and let your hips actually adjust to the new range of motion again, so it carries over to your other movements, your other training movements. So that is how we integrate the range of motion into your strength so it actually sticks as well. Ankles and calves are really resilient to making any change, and that's purely down to the amount of use they get put through every day. So it's going to take a while to make a change. Aim to stick to working through this circuit every day for at least 2 weeks, but if you feel that you feel really tender or there's any pain, then take a day off. You'll want to keep doing these exercises for at least 2 months, but that first 2 weeks really start to hammer them. While you're working on this and your range does improve, walking, running and jumping might feel a bit weird to you, so just be cautious about what you're doing and don't put too much stress or do any plyometric style training as you're increasing the range. Build the stability back in and then you're back to your normal training the way that you used to. If you want to find out more about full body flexibility and stability, make sure to head over to our website, tommorrison.uk, and check out our programs.